pretty night on this, what evening is it again, Huey?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. I forgot what day of the week it was. Thank you.
Yesterday was a holiday.
Tuesday night. It threw me off. The holiday threw me off. This Tuesday night, middle game of the three-game set. The Rockies have dominated the Giants the last couple of years here. They've won 11 out of 12, and they're sending that man to the hill, Kyle Freeland. And it'll be the 6th start for Kyle against the San Francisco Giants. And he's 3-2, and he's coming off a dominant performance in San Francisco against the Giants in a 6-1 Rockies victory. He's working deep into the night.
Well, and that's a good thing for Kyle. In the last 6 games, he's gone at least 6 innings, and then 3 times he's gone 7 innings. You see the ERA 3.28, nice and low, but even lower at home with a 1.40 ERA. At San Francisco, Drew, you talked about it, 6 2/3, 5 hits, just 1 earned run in that affair. Key number, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts through 97 pitches to work those 6 2/3. Maybe got just a tad tired, and he couldn't quite get that last out, but still for Kyle, he's in a great place right now. And that brings us right now to our Pizza Ranch for the win. Let Freeland ring. Yes, 6 straight starts with 6 innings pitched. Pretty nice when you can say that about a young guy that's just 25 years of age, and he's saying, you know what, playing at home, pitching at home at Coors Field doesn't bother me at all, because he's got a 3.30 career ERA, lowest in franchise history when you're talking about, you know, a minimum of 100 innings pitched. There's a few guys that obviously have more innings, but Kyle's not afraid of Coors at all.
Oh, it was one of the reasons I think the Rockies were enamored with him. He had a great career at Evansville, but having grown up here, he was familiar with pitching in these elements. Gorkys Hernandez will lead things off for the Giants. Here's the rest of Bruce Bochy's Southwest batting order. They've flipped some things around. They're trying to get Andrew McCutchen going. He's going to bat 3rd tonight. Buster Posey will bat in the 2 spot. Dennis Longoria, he had a couple of doubles yesterday. Brandon Belt's had a very good year. Mac Williamson, Brandon Crawford, one of the hottest players in baseball in the month of May. And then Kelby Tomlinson, he had a couple hits last night. He'll bat 8th in front of Jeff Samardzija. So we're ready to go on this Tuesday night, as my partners filled me in. And the first pitch misses, ball 1. The crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, is calling balls and strikes tonight. Marvin Hudson's at first, James Hoy at second, Quinn Walcott is at third. 73 degrees. Perfect evening for a little hard ball, and this is pulled foul.
Well, for Kyle Freeland, fastball, cutter, changeup, slider, but it has been his cut fastball, especially in the month of May. He's keeping it down in the zone. Almost 64% of the time it's down in the zone, which is the highest in the major leagues for a cutter, and the location.
And Hernandez tries to bunt his way on 1-2. Gorkys Hernandez, I think it's safe to say, Huey, is swinging the bat better than he ever has in his big league career. First of all, he has 6 home runs. His career high prior to this year was 3. He has multi-hit games in 5 straight, 6 of his last 7. So Gorkys Hernandez is in a real good place.
Career average 234 coming in to this season.
Almost 100 points above that. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So some would say there's time for a market correction.
I know what kind of correction.
Like what the Dow did today.
Yeah, you know what? One of the corrections the Rockies would like to see is not to give up a run in the first inning. In this homestand, even though they're 3-1, they've given up a run at least in each of the first 4 ball games.
And sometimes it's not just 1. I mean, last night it was 2 runs in the first. Game before was 1. Game before that was 1.
Here's a 3-2. Got eaten up on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, but did foul it off. So we'll have another 3-2 pitch upcoming.
Well, because of the weather the way it is now, with Kyle being in the sunlight, it still presents a problem for the hitter trying to pick up the spin. That's foul ball.
Yeah. Hernandez has been the toughest out in the lineup for Kyle Freeland. We're talking about how well he's swinging the bat. He has faced him 12 times. He has 6 hits, including a home run in the first inning in San Francisco against him.
Remember that ball. It was just, okay, Gorkys Hernandez hit it that far.
And he hits it sharply, but right at Ryan McMahon. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Rockies wearing their purple tops this evening on defense. Gerardo Parra's back in there. He is in left field. Cargo's in right. He's swinging the bat well. Charlie Blackmon naturally is in center. Arenado and Story, hard to get those guys out of the lineup, nor do you want them out of the lineup. McMahon, 3 straight starts at second base since his recall. Desi's at first base, and Chris Iannetta back-to-back starts behind the plate. Here's Buster Posey. Buster takes inside.
Seems strange after all these years watching Buster Posey that he's hitting second.
A little different. We've seen Buddy shake up the lineup this year, certainly more than he did last year. You know, trying to get certain guys going, maybe get them a couple more fastballs. And I think that was the intent for Boch tonight with Andrew McCutchen, who's been scuffling.
Have to do that. You know, Kutch has primarily hit third in his big league career. We remember last year a few times hitting second for Pittsburgh.
2 balls and a strike. That's the pitch that just has been so marvelous for Freeland. It's a cutter that starts off the plate, and by the time you make a decision, oftentimes it's a swing and a miss. In fact, he gets swings and misses on his cutter inside the strike zone at a rate of 48%. And there's another one. Strike 3 on Posey. You don't see Buster Posey look like that.
Not at all. And then that was first the fastball or the cutter, and then again with Buster losing the bat. First strikeout tonight for Kyle. The Subaru Supermo. Boy, that had some action on it. Buster's trying to catch up to it. And he's the 5th toughest guy to strike out in the National League. Remember that.
Think about this. Almost half the time that he throws a cutter in the zone, I'm not talking about a chase pitch, in the zone, he's getting a complete swing and miss.
That's Mariano Rivera type of cutter.
Yeah.
I mean, just numbers wise, when you think about it.
McCutchen takes outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes on McCutchen, the former Pirate great, just 7 for his last 43 at the plate, $163.
When you think about a cutter now in the National League, you think about Kenley Jansen.
Yes.
His is about 30%.
And there's a base hit. McCutchen pulled his hands in and lined one to center field. That'll bring up Evan Longoria.
Longoria was the star last night for the Giants, at least offensively. 3 for 5, couple doubles, 3 RBIs.
Well, both McCutchen and Longoria, the 2 big names they acquired via trades in the offseason, started slowly for San Francisco. But, you know, Longoria's numbers, 259, 8 home runs, 27 driven in. All above average. Remember, the league's hitting about 245 collectively. Bruce Bochy. And this should be an easy play for Kyle. He's got time. And a very nice start. And the Rockies do not give up a marker in the first. McCutchen left aboard. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we come back. bombs, hits doubles, and he's been hot lately. Got the average up to 275 after a couple of weeks where he was, by his standards, scuffling a little bit. Here is the Southwest batting order tonight. Gerardo Parro batting at 2 spots. Then here comes Nolan. Cargo has 6 hits in his last 8 at-bats. Trevor Story, 3-run bomb first inning yesterday. Ian Desmond, Ryan McMahon, Chris Ionetto had the game winner late last night. And then Kyle Freeland, all to face one of the great athletes in Major League Baseball, Jeff Samardzija, the former 2-sport star in South Bend.
We saw the numbers a moment ago for Samardzija. He won a first start of the year on April 20th. He didn't start the year because he was injured, but then since then he's 0-3 with a 7.28 ERA.
And this ball is hit a mile, and I mean a mile. It's foul. That went in the upper deck. I have not seen that before.
No, we've seen it in the Mountain Ranch Club, but no, I don't think those people, when they came to the game, that, you know what, I think we're going to get a baseball up here.
Wow.
It's 110 miles an hour off the bat.
Honestly,
right?
I've never seen a ball go over the Mountain Ranch Club.
No, I've seen it land in somebody's soup out there, but not above the restaurant.
Yell to him to straighten it out.
Straighten it out.
Not a baby. 2-1 from Samardzija, and that is fair, and it's down the right field line. McCutcheon will try to cut it off. He cannot. And Charlie into second with a leadoff double.
See, it worked.
That's what, you know what, you talk to them and it's like the joystick.
Well, you know what, if we're going to get the heat sometimes when we think, people think we jinx the guys, well, we got to take the credit on this one. No, all the credit goes to Charlie on the Subaru Supermo. He waits back, keeps the hands back, and then catches that off-speed pitch out in front.
He's now hitting 7 consecutive games.
And that is Charlie's 6th double of the year.
We've talked a lot about how the Rockies have had some issues in the first inning when they're out in the field. Jeff Samardzija has allowed the opposition to hit .310 against him in the first inning this year.
He's got a 10.29 ERA in the first.
And that is a line shot, base hit. Blackman will get a stop sign as that got to Gorkys Hernandez very quickly. And why not? No point in running into an out with nobody out. Nolan Arenado coming up, Carlos Gonzalez behind him.
And I think the height of that baseball when it first took off and where Brandon Crawford was playing, he was playing right back up the middle, but that just climbed above his head. Gorkys Hernandez came in and cut it off. It got to it quickly.
I know it's 2 hitters, but you've had 3 loud baseballs.
My goodness.
If you're watching this and you're Kurt Young, the pitching coach, or Bruce Bochy, just because of how things have gone for Samardzija of late, there's got to be really a great deal of early concern.
Remember, he used to throw much harder. He was 95 with some easy movement to it. Now it averages 92 miles an hour.
And then you start, when you lose that, Huey, we've talked about it so many times, you start to nibble. And coming in, Samardzija has 25 strikeouts, 23 walks.
Yeah, just 34 2/3 innings.
Last year, his strikeout to walk ratio was better than 6-1.
So he knows it in his head. And you also, you know, one number I like to look at is chase percentage. You know, what a guy's doing when you throw either a fastball or your secondary pitches. Well, Samardzija has one of the lowest chase percentages in all of baseball with the secondary pitches. It's 7th lowest. So guys are saying, you know, I see it real easily out of the hand.
1-1 on Nolan. And he gets this ball high in deep left field, stay fair, and it's a 3-run shot. It is a foul ball.
I was watching Quinn Walcott. I was watching Nolan at the plate. He never really dropped his bat, so that tells you he thought it might hook, and it did, but not by much. Wow. Good catch out there. A fan brought us love.
Those are 2 loud foul balls. The 2 balls that were put in play by Blackman and Parra were loud. 1-2. Now that may have been a cutter, but it was at 89. And again, we're so accustomed to everything Samardzija throws. You know, when he's trying to throw heaters or cutters, 93 plus, 95, 96 with the fastball.
It takes the movement off even the cutter. That's a throw over.
Samardzija, 33 years of age. Missed the initial portion of the season with a pectoral strain. You know, some guess maybe he came back too quickly, but you know, he's 7 starts in. This is his 8th, and that is lined to right, foul.
Yeah, so if there was any residual effect from the pec strain, it would have happened, or it would have been out of there after minimum 2 starts, maybe even 3 starts. But now when you, as you say, Drew, you're in your 8th start, that's no longer an issue. If it was, he'd probably be back on the DL.
He actually didn't throw poorly against the Rockies last week. 6 2/3, 3 runs, 5 hits. Another 1-2. Nolan's seeing him well. You talked about the shadows. This is good because it both
Guys are now.
Both guys are now in the shadows, so you should be able to pick up the seams and the spin.
Yeah. It's always worse when they're one or the other.
First and third, nobody out, bottom of 1. Runner going, and they're gonna have 1 play, and that's first. Scoring is Blackman. Crawford for a moment thought about coming home. That worked out nicely, putting Parra in motion. Rockies stayed out of the double play. They have a 1-0 lead. Cargo coming up. Parra's in scoring position. Let's take a look at the Giants defensively. Last night they made a multitude of errors. Mac Williamson is in left field. Gorkys Hernandez in center. McCutcheon, the longtime center fielder in Pittsburgh, plays right now. Longoria's made 9 errors at third base. Brandon Belt's got a good glove at first. He can also play the outfield. Crawford, Tomlinson up the middle. And that first pitch is in there, strike 1 on Cargo. He hit 2 singles last night. They came off the bat at 115 and 111 miles an hour respectively. He's got the average to 250 with the work he's done the last 2 days.
Cargo 2 for 4 last night. We remember the 4 for 4 a couple games ago.
That RBI for Nolan, his 30th of the year.
Loading the Cargo 6 for 8. We saw that triple deck home run, a couple RBIs. Second time this year he's had consecutive multi-hit games.
He's got a chance to drive in Parra right here. He's behind though, 0-2. Tomlinson in the outfield grass.
Good eye. Tried to get it up on the top of the Subaru strike zone.
Well, that's a pitch Cargo was chasing just a week ago.
Well, yeah, I think it's his approach. We've referenced it. Billy's talked about it. His approach is a lot quieter. Not getting that upper rotation on the top half as much.
Good swing. Cargo has faced Samardzija a bunch. 35 at bats against Samardzija. Not a great average, 229. He does have a home run against the Shark. .535 career earned run average in 5 starts at Coors Field. it had to feel good for Cargo. You know, he minimized some of the rotation in the hips, and yet he still hit the ball 5 rows deep upper tank the other day. So it's not like the power's diminished.
No, actually, it'll increase the power when you don't get as much of that hip rotation.
Cargo saw that the whole way, 2-2.
You mentioned about Samardzija, his last 2 starts at Coors Field. He's given up 15 earned runs in 11 and a third innings. Just coming into this game, he's already given up 1 here in the first.
Two-two, and he gets Cargo on a pitch up and away. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Trevor Story. Also takes us to our Mako big hit. Last night the Rockies were down 2-0 after the top of the first. He got a curveball and he hit it out with 2 men aboard. And just like that, the Rockies moved it front 3-2. Coming off Andrew Suarez.
Ball went 409 feet.
Story has a home run in his career against Samardzija. Parra with 2 outs at second. And this ball in the air to deep right field. McCutcheon going back. Got a plate off the wall. Parra scores. Story to second. Now he's going to turn on the Jets and head towards third. It is a run-scoring triple for Trevor Story. His 4th triple of the year already. Make it 2-0 Colorado.
The hits keep coming for Trevor. And another RBI. That's 39. He'd come into the ballgame tied with Bryce Harper for 4th most in the National League. Inside out swing on the Subaru Supermo. It's about halfway up on the auxiliary scoreboard. And Trevor's running hard out of the box. He sees what's happened. Everything's in front of him. Gerardo's going to score. Rockies up 2-0, but you got Trevor making it all the way to third.
This offense starting to click the last few days like everybody thought it would. And many people, including that clubhouse, been frustrated this year with the offense, but the last few days up and down the lineup they're getting production. They've got production out of this man also, who obviously has struggled quite a bit this year, but he's got big hits. Last 10 ball games Desi has driven in 10.
You know, I thought the 2 last night were so great for a number of reasons, but both of them came to right field. You had the sac fly and then also the base hit late in the game.
2-0, back up the middle, and Tomlinson was shaded there, and he throws out Desmond to end the inning. Great start for the Rockies offensively. Began with a Blackman double, a Parra single. 2-0 as we go to the second.
to our 25th anniversary by celebrating Brad Hopp tonight. He's number 18 on our list. And check out this tweet. Rocks that Ryan McMahon looks like Brad Hopp's younger brother. I don't know about that one, but I guess I do see some similarities. What about you, Drew? You think they're maybe any relation at all?
Well, they both have a pretty swing from the left side. And Ryan McMahon hopes one day he can put up the numbers that Brad Hopp put up. Brandon Belt, he's got a good looking swing from the left side. He takes strike one from Kyle Freeland. Rockies up 2-0.
Just a couple left-handers in the lineup tonight for the Giants. The veteran guys in Belt and Crawford, but left-handers just 3 for their last 30 against Kyle.
They've had next to no success against Freeland. Got one for you, Huey.
Yeah.
Last 3 ball games, the Rockies have scored 8 runs in the first. So they've given up some runs in the first, but they counterpunch.
But tonight they didn't give up any in the first. Now they're playing with the lead. Kind of fun.
Yes, it is. And this ball is in the air to Parra in shallow left. Can he get there? Nope. And Belt draws a throw. Belt looking over there going, do you really come back at me from left field line?
Yeah.
Parra likes to throw. And if you have his arm, you'd like to throw too.
Well, yeah, but I would say this, though. I think somebody needs to remind him that there's a sun that's behind him on that throw. So sometimes it's hard for the first baseman to be able to see that. Good thing that skip so Desi could see it.
And that's what they're looking into. That pitch misses. Ball 1 on Mac Williamson.
Mac, as we said last night, missed 27 ball games because of a concussion, but he got it kind of an unusual way by tripping over the mound.
Yeah, we discussed that. That's inside. We discussed that when we were in San Francisco, Huey, that they immediately, reporters went to Larry Baer, the president of the Giants, and said, you know, any thought about moving the mounds, you know, behind the fence, maybe in center field? And Larry said, no, there really isn't a place for it. So they're one of 3 teams that has the mounds right in plain sight. Now, I think the fans enjoy it, but it is hazardous to corner outfielders or third basemen, shortstops on balls in the air down the line. So all of a sudden, the hill is there.
Well, and you never know with concussions what's going to happen. Just ask
Mike Matheny.
Matheny,
Former Giant. That's a strike.
well, who was the other guy? Not Jason Ward. Who was the other guy? That
Michael Morse.
Michael Morse, yeah.
His career ended. There was an article written about that in the last 48 hours because his career came to an end in the Hunter Strickland Bryce Harper brawl. This is back up the middle, leave it. And that was a good decision by Kyle. I think at the last instant he realized it's right over the bag and it turns into an easy 4-3 double play.
It wasn't hit hard. Maybe if it was his glove side, it'd be one thing, but since it was his bare hand side, wisely let it go. Oh, no, I'm not going to reach for it. It's about as easy as it gets for Ryan McMahon. 56th double play the Rockies have turned on the season.
Too quickly gone, and Crawford will come up. But Michael Morse, you talk about 2 big men. Michael Morse and Jeff Samardzija, you know, bodies flying everywhere. They ran out there and they ended up colliding, and Morse took the worst of it. He got hit in the side of the head and suffered a very bad concussion and was never able to return. He was planning on retiring that year anyhow. He says he's not bitter about it, but that was his last day on a major league field. Parra right there makes the catch, and Kyle Freeland safely navigates the 2nd inning. Middle of 2, the Rockies leading 2-0.
Tigers banquet timeless moment time going back to September 21st, 2007. Top of the 14th inning, 2 outs. Brad Hopp hits a home run to dead center off Joe Thatcher. Thatcher had a 1.29 ERA at the time. The Rocks ended up winning 5 straight. They go on to win 10 straight. And then they lost on a Friday to Brandon Webb, which, by the way, Brad Hopp owned. He owned him very well. In fact, so much so, we always tell this story. Brad Hopp owned Brandon Webb so bad that Brandon Webb, who had just a sinker, learned how to throw a 4-seam to try to get him out. So,
isn't that wild? So, you know, Brandon Webb during his elite time.
Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, I mean, he was virtually unhittable, and then there's always that one guy. Hey, there's something interesting that's happened. Jeff Samardzija must not be well. I know he gave up 2 runs in the first, but he's out of the ball game. And making his major league debut is Derek Rodriguez. Just called to the big leagues yesterday, and this is even more notable than a young man making his major league debut. He is Pudge's kid. That's right. Hall of Famer Pudge Rodriguez, former teammate of Jeff Houston, who witnessed his major league debut. You remember when Derek was a toddler.
Yeah, I remember when he was born back in June in 1992. I mean, that's how long ago it was. And Pudge is not in the ballpark, but he's
out of the country, unfortunately,
he's in Colombia
for Pudge
right now. But tweeting out that he's very proud of his son and welcome him to the show. I ran into Derek and his mom, Maribel, last night as I was leaving the ballpark and kind of shared a neat moment with Derek and his mom. Because like I said, I remember when Pudge got called to the big leagues, we were playing the White Sox, and he made his major league debut when I was on the team with the Rangers. So to see his dad and now to see him when I remember him when he was an infant.
Now, Derek originally was an outfielder. He was signed as an outfielder, and after a couple of years, not in the Giants organization, he converted to being on the mound. I don't know if he has his dad's arm, but he has to have pretty close to his dad's arm.
Oh, he has his dad's arm, Drew, and I actually talked to Noel Cuevas. They were teammates together in Puerto Rico, winter ball. In fact, they got traded 2-for-1 to a different Puerto Rican team together, so they've been connected for quite some time. I'm watching Cuevas, looking at his friend. Probably has mixed emotions because at some point, maybe you're going to get to face one of your better friends. Last note about Derek is that he ended up playing with his father the last year that he played winter ball in Puerto Rico. So kind of cool to see father and son together. Obviously not at the major league level like Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad, but still, all in the family.
It's an amazing accomplishment. I mean, not only for the Pudge and going into the Hall of Fame last year, all the gold gloves, the all-star games that Pudge made. And now to see Derek.
And the reason, if you're wondering, why is he getting to throw so many pitches? Samardzija evidently was hurt, and that's why Rodriguez will get as many pitches as he needs to get ready to compete. Samardzija, I don't know if that was his reaction to what happened in the first inning, or maybe a reaction to getting hurt again. Who knows? He just went Bo Jackson on that bat, though.
He made it look like a toothpick.
People forget, because it's been a long time. When he left Notre Dame, he was the all-time receptions leader at Notre Dame. He was a first-team All-American at Notre Dame. He was a finalist for the Bolitnikoff Award, which goes to the top receiver in college football. He's going to be a very high pick in the NFL draft.
He's 6'5", 240.
And he's ticked off right now. So the Shark has to depart, and as soon as we have information as to what the injury is, we'll pass it along. Meanwhile, Pudge's kid is getting loose, and we should note he was not working out of the pen in the minor leagues. He is a starter, so he's stretched out.
Those are the spring numbers, but his numbers in Sacramento in 9 starts, he was 4-1 with a 3.40 ERA.
Derek was originally drafted in the 6th round as an outfielder by the Twins. Signed last off season to a minor league deal with San Francisco.
Yeah, he went from a pitcher or from an outfielder to pitcher following the 2013 season.
I wonder if McMahon saw him in AAA this year. First pitch, a fastball, strike one. A little bigger than Pudge. He's listed at 6'1", about 215 pounds.
So he never really wanted to be a catcher.
Born in Arlington, Texas. Grew up in the Miami area. Went to high school in the Miami area.
Easy 96. So yeah, I think he's his dad's arm.
Got his dad's arm, that's for sure.
I've told you off the air, Drew, that his dad was the only catcher to handcuff me at second base on a steal attempt.
That's amazing. It's 128 feet away.
And yeah, well, you think it's going to die somewhat. You think it's going to have maybe a little cut, a little tail, a little fade. No, his was still rising.
Yeah, I think it would lose velocity at that distance. 1-2. Get on top of that curveball. 2-2. And that's fouled off. Well, the Giants tomorrow are sending Derek Holland to the mound. And the reason we mentioned that here in the second inning the night before is that in 2009 with Texas, Derek Holland and his dad were teammates.
Right.
How about that? Inside, 3-2. Say, I know your dad. It's Holland on the left. And this is line to left, but it is right at Mac Williamson. So good at bat for Ryan McMahon. One gone. That'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Folks, if the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. So last night, for the 6th time in his Rockies career, 9th time overall, Chris Iannetta gets a walk-off RBI. And the reason I have to phrase it that way is 8 have been on hits. 1 was a walk-off walk. That also snapped an 0 for 24 slide with runners in scoring position for Chris.
A lot of good things came with that hit. It goes back to the old saying, put the ball in play, good things will happen.
One. Fouled off 1 and 2.
You think you're officially old, Miles? I know the feeling. When I saw his dad make his major league debut and played with him, and now his son, that makes me feel a little old. Not gonna lie.
I understand. This ball is lifted toward left field. It's a long run for Williamson. He won't get there. Iannetta is digging towards second, and Chris has himself a 1-out double. Well, if you have a middle approach, if you get a breaking ball, something off speed, you can still keep it in fair territory. This is really what happened for Chris, isn't it?
Yep, 7th double this year for Chris. There he waits back. That ball spun up there. Didn't have the depth that it needed to have, but Chris, as you said, Drew, had the right approach going back up the middle, reached out in front of him, was able to pull it down the line.
Kyle Freeland's a good hitting pitcher. He hasn't hit much yet this year, so he's due. It's a good swing off. No baseball, 0-1. Rockies up 2-0. Hitting here in the bottom of the second. Jeff Samardzija had to depart after 1 inning. And it must have been one of those deals, unless we missed it, and based on the number of pitches he threw on the mound, where Boch thought he was going to go out for the second inning. Something had to happen.
It's really
pretty
weird,
late.
though. But even if you're injured, are you going to break a bat over your knee? That's what I question. Not to say that he's not injured, but what, if it is, what part of the body is it?
Comfortable enough that, you know, he didn't feel like he was going to hurt himself again taking a bat over his knee.
Yeah.
And that thing broke
Oh,
like it was the proverbial toothpick.
wonder if it was his bat or somebody else's bat.
2 outs, and it'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. I don't advise you to do this at home, but if you have a wood bat somewhere, or next time you're in the the sporting goods store, you're over at Dick's Sports, grab a bat, 34-inch bat, all right? Don't grab, the 27-inch Little League bat. Grab a 34-inch bat, and then just put both in, one on one end, one on the barrel, and say, let me think what would happen if I tried to break that over my knee.
That
You won't do it.
No, and nor should you. Because like you said, Samardzija, see do it. Bo Jackson is probably the most
Bo do it
infamous.
over his head.
Over his head, yeah. That Bo was scary strong.
One strike on Blackmon. Ionette at second with a double. And that's a called strike. Spilly.
I hear you guys talking about breaking bats over your knees. I tried it once. It was a dare. And I had the biggest bruise across my knee.
Nothing happened to the bat, right?
Yeah, nothing happened to the bat.
You can still use it for another week.
And you know what's funny is, like, when you're in the minor leagues, you're trying to figure these things out. It's really hard to break a ash bat over your knee against the grain.
Did you see the video of Samardzija?
Yeah. He's way stronger than me.
Yeah. Ionette a double. He's left at second. We'll go to the third. Rockies up 2-0. Don't break a bat over your knee. Speed challenge question of the night. Of the Rockies' all-time walk-off Ribby leaders, who would you most want at the plate with the game on the line? Bichette has 9, Helton had 9, Nolan's got 7, Brad Hopp, who we'll talk to in a little bit, had 7. 4 outstanding choices there. Kyle Freeland against Kelby Tomlinson made a nice play to end that second inning. Took a hit potentially away from Charlie Blackmon. Tomlinson, and then Rodriguez and Gorkys Hernandez. Still awaiting word as to what happened to Jeff Samardzija.
They might not have an option now with Madison Bumgarner. You know, they wanted to keep him out on a rehab, 75 pitches. They might have to rethink that plan. I know it's the short term for the long term. I get all of that, but you know, Mad Bum and his competitiveness.
Oh, he's going to want to.
He's going to want to try to talk his way into doing it.
2-1. Tomlinson lines this ball to right, and it is a foul ball. Well, speaking of guys that would like to be here and soon, and will be soon, DJ LeMahieu played 5 innings in an extended spring game today. He was 1 for 5, which is really immaterial. It's about seeing pitches. Came out of it just fine, and as of now, he's scheduled to play again tomorrow, though you know DJ is lobbying
he's
to
probably trying to talk
be
his
here
way,
in Denver. Yeah.
And you wonder why extended spring? Well, you can see 5 innings, 1 for 5. You can hit leadoff every inning.
It wasn't a blowout for whatever team DJ was on necessarily.
Because a lot of people will say, well, why do they go to extended spring, or why don't they go to AAA? Well, just because of that. You can get 5 at bats, 5 innings. You got this gorgeous workout facility. You don't have to worry about any potential rain hazards.
And there are no rules. You can bend the rules all you want.
Doesn't matter what. You know what? If DJ wanted to hit twice in an inning, he could do that.
By all means.
Yeah, go ahead. If he got out, he could just stay up there and hit again.
And you've probably actually seen that where a guy walks and he's
I just want to stay.
Yep.
Now they will put somebody in to run for him.
These are the dog days of extended spring. Latter part of May. This is in the air to Parra, shallow left. Freeman got it in on the hands. 1 out. So Tomlinson is gone. And that'll bring up Derek Rodriguez. He's getting a lot of firsts out of the way. He made his major league debut on the hill last inning, and now the former minor league outfielder will get his first major league at bat. Takes a strike. Two strikes on Rodriguez.
He's taking some at bats in Sacramento this year. This is the National League ballpark, AAA.
His dad was a 14-time All-Star, won 13 Gold Gloves in his 21-year career. A first ballot Hall of Famer. Again, he's out of the country. He's in Colombia. Otherwise, obviously, he would be here. 1-2. This downside, 2-2.
Talk about shutting a running game down. I mean, for 3 games or however many games he was behind the plate, you just didn't run. It was not an option.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. 2 outs. Let's go to center field again and check in with Taylor McGregor. Taylor.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, we're continuing our celebration of Brad Hopp tonight, and people are continually sending their tweets in using the hashtag ToyotaTalk25. But check out this one. Best 2000s memory is gathering around the old oak tree with the boys and passing around trading cards featuring Brad Hopp by Rocky's Wint. I love that, Drew. Just the genuine joy of childhood memories featuring Brad Hopp.
Yeah. You know, time flies, but I'm sure there's we just had a youngster in the booth, and he's 14, so you know, you go back a few years, may not quite remember all that Brad did, especially in that 07 run to the World Series. But there are a lot of people who grew up and probably had a poster of Brad Hopp on the wall, that sort of thing.
Well, you still see some of the Brad Hopp. Remember the giveaway T-shirts? So you still see those every once in a while around town. Still in one piece.
Fouled off by Hernandez. 1-2. We just did get word from the Giants clubhouse. Jeff Samardzija left with a tight right shoulder. which still makes what he did to the bat inexplicable. Why, you know, if your shoulder's bothering you, you take some force with your, you know, arm, shoulders, upper body to break that bat over his knee. 1-2, and that's also fouled off out of play.
I think it's just a year's worth or 2 months worth of frustration.
Yeah, started the season on the DL and has not been pitching well. The mentality for any competitor, and nobody feels, for any athlete in any sport, you're not 100% once the season gets going. And so you will yourself to the starting line each time.
Oh, yeah.
And as you know, you had surgeries, you had different injuries. There's a difference between playing with pain, playing with discomfort, and playing injured.
Yeah. But sometimes you try to trick yourself, saying, well, I can do it.
3-2. Kyle didn't like how that came out of his hand.
Now he wasn't happy with that. He's going to take an extra second to walk around the mound.
And he got that in on the hands. A broken bat, little pop up. Story grabs it. A 1-2-3 third inning. Freeland's doing his thing. The Rockies lead 2-0. Parra will lead it off. Kyle Freeland, and they'll have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Parra, Arenado, and Cargo to face Derek Rodriguez. Again, Pudge's son, second inning of work. Jeff Samardzija had to leave after 1 inning with right shoulder tightness. And as we welcome Parra to the plate, we're also going to welcome an old friend. He's called in via or from Fort Worth, Texas, where he was raised. Brad Hopp. Brad, how you been, bud?
Good. Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
Well, you earned your way on. We didn't want to have you. The fans voted, man. You had to come on.
Like sewer pipes, yeah.
Well, I don't know who y'all tricked into this, but what an honor. I mean, that's truly blessed to get this phone call.
Yeah, you know what? It was actually a bunch of folks like us, you know, broadcaster types, media types, and they came. I think you probably know now. Everybody voted on their top 25, 1 through 25. Frazier put like 37 pitchers, by the way.
You know, he put Cookie and Francis
right.
like 1, 2.
It was like no position player ever made an impact. It was all pitchers. So you can, by the way, so wear him out next time you talk to him. on
Yes,
that.
he put me at 26. I'm going to go ahead and go with that.
Right. Yeah, as far as you know, that's exactly what happened. You're the only one. That was the only guy who left you off the ballot. So wear him out.
Yes.
Here's Nolan. But listen, it was well deserved. I always point to, and you know this, Brad, because we've had this conversation before through the years, but you know, when that 07 run comes up, as it invariably does and should for yourself, and for Matty, and for Spilly and Corey, I always point, it's easy to point to Helton's home run and some of the other great things that took place, but I remember, man, you couldn't have hit the ball out in San Diego that night if you were standing on second base and you took Joe Thatcher left on left, no doubt. What do you remember about that pitch and when the ball left your bat?
Well, you know, that was just at the moment, just where you felt, you know, it's just supposed to happen, man. It was just, it basically just felt like it was just my turn. I'm still, hey, you want me to tell you the truth, Drew? I'm still processing that whole run that we went through 11 years ago.
Is that right? Why,
I mean, it really was that much. It's still, to this day, I'm still shocked at a lot of the things that our team was able to do that year.
Tell us about the 2009 All-Star game.
You know, I never really had dreams or aspirations of being an All-Star. The way they treat you at an All-Star event, I wish everybody got to experience that one time. It really was, it was one of the most special things that I got to sit back and watch people go through and do, and I got to have my family there. It was pretty neat. Now that Dane Carl,
yeah,
he wasn't on my list there for a while.
No,
do you know
he robbed you of that home run, right?
Yes, he got the MVP for catching my home run.
Because I think you would have been the MVP if he hadn't caught that ball.
That would have been the game-winning homer, and he got the MVP catching.
And here's we're going to show it right now. We're showing some highlights of you and, you know, tipping your cap when the game started, and then this ball, I got out of my chair. I'm watching this at home, and I'm like, Hop just hit it out. And Crawford went over the top of the wall. You're right. You would have been the MVP.
Yeah, I guess I'll get the next All-Star game homer, right? Dang it.
Cargo pops out, and with Cargo walking off, he's gotten hot the last couple of days. A little bit of a slow start, and he hit one of his mammoth home runs, Brad. I don't know if you caught the highlight of it. He hit one 5 rows up into the upper deck, and I hadn't done this in a while, and I told Cargo in the clubhouse that night, I said I had to break out a little pony on you.
Yes.
And you're the one who hung that nickname on him. How'd that happen?
Well, I'll tell you what, I love him. He was always one of my favorites. Just the way he just went about it and everything he was blessed with. He had that haircut that kind of looked like My Little Pony, the Little Ponies. We were playing, if you remember, do you remember Carlos Lee and his nickname?
El Caballo.
El Caballo. And so he was the guy we'd play against, and you just could not let him beat you. You know, and El Caballo's the horse. And so I was looking, me and Little Pony were sitting there talking. I said, this is going to be you someday. He said, oh, come on, I got no chance. I said, no, that's going to be you. I said, you're not quite there. You're more like the Little Pony. And so ever since then, it was just My Little Pony. And we just started calling him Little Pony, and he loved it. And that was my buddy there. I miss him.
Yeah, you know what? There's not anybody. We say this a lot, and I think fans have realized this over the last decade. He's really one of the, in this clubhouse that you were part of and that exists today. There's been so many great guys to go through there. Forget just great players. And Cargo's at the top of the list, isn't he, as a person?
Yes, he is. He's a great human being, baseball player. And let's be honest, he learned from a lot of good people whenever he was coming up. I mean, the clubhouse that I was fortunate enough to be in, that was culture that they talked about. That was clubhouse chemistry, and that was what he learned at the very beginning. I mean, even the pitchers. I mean, when we would go, Spilly and Sully can attest to this. There was 23, 24, 25 of us going out to dinner every night. That's what he grew up in, and that was what he knew. And that was what he enjoyed, and I hope that that's something he's continued to carry on with that crew for his career.
Did it help that you guys all kind of came up together through the system?
Oh, I would think so. You know, I mean, the boys you get to spend time with every night. I mean, we played in the minor leagues for years. I mean, Sullivan in 2001 came and joined us, and that was every single day, every single road trip, watching Corey eat pizzas and McDonald's and his 7 burgers he would choke down at his 165 pounds in Salem. I mean, just things that you just, all of a sudden you become family over time. You know, you don't quite get that same feeling in the big leagues as you get in the minor leagues. I mean, it's a bond together and let's figure this thing out type of approach.
Hey, Brad, did you know because Corey's slammed all those pizzas in the minor leagues that he has a pizza commercial now? Did you know that?
It's always
Hey, you want to know what else though about Corey? You're not going to believe this. You believe the pizza stuff in the Pizza Ranch commercial. Corey's now on a health kick. He's lost like 25 pounds.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you. I mean, exactly. Corey's he's like the marathon man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, but he has his own pizza commercial.
Yeah, there's no surprise right there. If they'd have known the amount of pizzas he could throw down in the minor leagues, he'd get paid double what he's paid right now.
And he still showed up and he weighed 160 pounds.
Yes, at best.
This is a chop foul by Desmond. 2 on and 2 outs. We're talking to Brad Hopp, who's number 18 on our list of the all-time top 25 Rockies. One of the many celebrations of the silver anniversary season for Colorado. Brad, how often do you get to check on your old club?
I try to watch them as often as possible. I mean, that's the team I like to watch. They're too exciting. I like watching my friends commentate about my friends playing baseball. I mean, why would I be watching somebody else? You know.
There you go.
Are we going to be able to see you when the Rockies come down to Texas and play? I think it's in June, middle of June.
Absolutely. I've already been checking in and seeing what the plans are, where y'all are going to be. Billy and I were talking the other day, trying to get some stuff lined up. I can't wait. My son has had that marked on his calendar for months, so it's a must.
That's awesome. Kim's doing well?
Yes, yeah, she's doing good. She still puts up with me, so I'm in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny line in the commercial break. 3-2. Because we got 2 outs and 3-2 count with 2 on. Everybody moving, and that is strike 3 on the outside corner. Brad, can you hang with us for another half?
Absolutely, love to.
That'd be awesome. Brad Hopp is with us. The Rockies, as we go to the 4th inning, leading the Giants 2-0 behind Kyle Freeland. Field, Buster Posey, Andrew McCutcheon, Evan Longoria to face Kyle Freeland. And number 18 on our top 25 all-time Rockies is with us, Brad Hopp. And Brad, coming off his best half inning of commentary, our Ryan Spilborgs has a question for you.
Hopper, I was hearing you talking about just how important it was for everybody to grow up together in the clubhouse, and I always looked at you as that quiet leader. Who taught you before you taught me, before I taught Cargo? Because you pass it down.
Well, you know, that it was always Helton, whenever I got to the big league, was always, you know, one of our go-to guys. He was never talking a lot unless he was poking at somebody. He was always working hard. He took it serious. I mean, even when we were taking it serious, he was taking it like extremely serious, and it was just eye-opening. And I'd see some of the other guys. I remember my first year in the big leagues with Benny and Larry Walker and Burnett and Vida, Preston Wilson, Steve Reed. I mean, there was all these guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually in the big leagues, and these guys are big leaguers, and I'm trying to figure this thing out. Helton was always the one guy that I never saw really just soak up the fact that he was a big leaguer. It was just about going out there and playing ball, and I think he's somebody that, well, that I know that you look to, and a lot of the other guys did as well.
Well, and here's the other aspect to it too, Brad, is when you think about what Todd meant to you, and then what Matt Holliday meant to Tulo, and then what Tulo meant to Nolan. The relationship of Todd and the tree of the guys that have turned this organization moving forward to a playoff caliber team, to a World Series, it's amazing to think about just the lasting impression one player made, and obviously the guys before, but what Todd meant to the tree of Rockies that we're currently watching.
Bill, you make a good point. I mean, the Rockies almost have like a fraternity of baseball players. I wasn't around that on the other teams that I played for. I played on, after I left the Rockies, 3 other teams. I didn't feel that fraternity of major league players that, you know, the Rockies seem to have. I mean, there's some players on the Rockies that I've never met personally, but I feel like there's some sort of connection or relationship there, just like guys in the past. Whenever I've met guys in the past, whether that was Lansing or whoever, that connection was already there. Like I'm saying, it's almost a fraternity of the Rockies.
McCutchen takes off. Ionetta's throw is not going to get him. Good throw by Chris, and McCutchen went first movement by Freeland. That's the 4th stolen base for McCutchen.
I want to keep on that subject of fraternity of Rockies because you still have a lasting impression here at the stadium, Hopper. Your company that you have represented in the Rockies bullpen, the Fueled Nutrition Company, is here. And it's really cool for me to see that what you created is still part of the organization.
Well, thanks, Billy. I spent some time whenever I retired, and we just tried to focus on taking care of the ball players. There was the steroid scandal, and there was this and that, and there was really nowhere for people to be able to take a certified product. And I just felt like at that point in time, I wanted to be home with my kids, but I want to still try to have an impact in the game and help out as best I could. And that was something I had a passion for, and been trying to help out a lot of the players, and been fortunate enough that our company has been the official nutrition partners of the Rockies for the last few years.
Hey, Brad, when you stepped away, so it's always a difficult transition for an athlete who has had as much success as someone like yourself did, and really spent, you know, your life in a locker room and then a big league clubhouse, as this is going to get Kyle Freeland out of the inning, a pop fly to short center field. But very quickly, was it a tough transition, or was it time for you?
It was time for me. Whenever I left the Angels, I left and I told my agent, "Don't call back. I'm ready to go see my family."
Good for you. Good for you. Hey, Bradley.
We love you, Hopper.
Thanks,
Hopper.
We look we're going to
Miss
see
you.
we're going to see you in a couple of weeks, Brad. It's always a pleasure, man. We'll talk to you shortly.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you here soon.
And we welcome you back, bottom of the fourth inning. Rockies up 2-0. Ryan McMahon swung and missed at the first delivery from Derek Rodriguez. Third inning of work for Rodriguez. He had to replace Jeff Samardzija in the second inning. Samardzija never came out for the second inning. Right shoulder tightness. And that's strike two. Bottom third of the order for Colorado. And again, a big thank you to Brad Hopp. It's always a treat visiting with Brad. Talk about all-time great Rockies and all-time classy Rockies. Brad is at the top of the list, man.
Just to be able to watch him, I know Spilly and Sully, those guys were in the locker room with him, but you could tell the respect that the players had. You know when somebody has his teammates back, and Hopper was that guy. It is also kind of reminds me a little bit of you know, the old commercial E.F. Hutton. When Hopper talked, people listened.
Yep, probably. You know, there's some guys I'm sure you played with that were chatterbox every night.
Yeah.
He picked his spots.
He did.
Spilly, I've said this about him. I know everybody has their times they can be emotional, but I would go in there sometime. You would know if Brad was 0 for 4 or 3 for 4 and 2 bombs.
That's what Cargo was talking about today, just about you couldn't tell the difference. And he's right. He always had this calm demeanor, this professional approach. It's why players gravitated to him when you were struggling. And it's also, don't forget, there were times where Brad Hopp couldn't hit a baseball if you threw it right down the middle. And he would go through stretches where, seriously, this guy would never get a hit, and then he would get hot. And you remember what would happen when Brad Hopp got hot. It was over. It was hotter than Cargo could ever get. It was just ridiculous. And there's something special about a player that has the ability to stay calm when everything around you is falling down. And when there's negativity and you lose confidence, well, Hopper never did.
I think about there's a lot of similarities between Cargo and Hopp. First of all, you know, beautiful people, right? Guys with like tower power. A lot of moving parts with the, you know, preparation to swing the bat. Iannetta goes down. 2 outs. And guys that when they got locked in, look out.
Spilly was saying you couldn't get him out. And we always show and we always remember that home run that, you know, against Thatcher and the heavier. That was the only home run Thatcher gave up all year.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Now he wasn't up the whole year. Thatcher wasn't. But still, his job was to come in and get the tough lefties out because he was the only, I think, one of the only left-handers in that San Diego bullpen.
Oh, that was during the era where San Diego almost always had a right-handed bullpen. Always had a strong bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike on Freeland.
Find it funny. Now, don't forget, we used to call Brad Hopp's swing the scoop. You remember hearing that? Oh, wow.
Did I tell you Freeland
That's
was
a
going to
rocket.
Freeland was going to get a knock tonight? He was due. And he long strides it into second with a 2-out double. That may be the best swing so far against Derek Rodriguez, Huey.
I think so. He didn't miss this one. Changeup on the Subaru Supermo, got the barrel out and smoked it to right field. 106 miles an hour off the bat. Yeah, do it, Kyle. You said that at 3 o'clock today when I saw you, Drew. You said Kyle Freeland's due for a big hit tonight.
You know what? By pitcher standards, he's got too good a swipe to be hitting 095, so it was his time. And this ball pulled again toward the hole and under the glove of Tomlinson. Freeland can run, but Cutchin-Stroh's not going to get him. And Beltstro to second, goes into short left field. Here goes Charlie to third. No throw from Williamson. And the Rockies have a 3-0 lead. And Kelby Tomlinson is having a tough time at second base this evening.
Already 2 errors on the night for Tomlinson. So that gives him 4 on the season. And then with the throw from Belt, allowing Charlie to go to third, that'll be another air tacked on to Brandon Belt. That'll be his 5th, so that's 3 on the night. They had 3 last night. That gives them 45 airs. They'd come in with 44 airs, excuse me. They'd come in with 41 airs, leading the National League in that department.
And you got it, E4 and E3. The Rockies with a 3-0 lead. If Parra can throw out a hit, they'll make it 4-0. That turned into the Bad News Bears for a moment.
Yeah, you wouldn't quite want that on your 12-year-old team, throwing that ball like that.
Yeah, that's when you get the whole infield together.
Come together, kids.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this back-to-back nights, they've committed 3 errors. And we're just in the bottom of the 4th.
It's very un-Giant-like. Parra rips it down the line. Make it 4-0. Blackman comes home. Gerardo heading to second. RBI number 15 for Parra.
Well, this is what you have to do. You have to kick them when they're down. You know, this is what big leaguers do. You give them extra outs, you tack on.
I was about to say, Spilly, a moment ago that Derek Rodriguez is getting locked in pretty good. And then the error, and the Rockies cash in a couple after.
Well, that happens, especially with the young pitcher, and for a guy like Charlie Blackmon paying attention, second time seeing it. But quickly with young pitchers, we see it often. You make an error behind a young pitcher, or a strike doesn't go their way, they just don't. It's not a knock on Derek. He'll get it eventually. But learning to settle yourself down at the major league level when the fans are against you, when the fans at home are cheering against you.
2-0, excuse me, 1-1 now on Nolan. RBI ground out in the first. His 30th RBI, reached on that error by Tomlinson, the first of 2 tonight on Kelby Tomlinson. It's the 5th time this year the Giants have made 3 errors in a game.
As you said, they have 44 errors. Compare that to the Rockies, who have 18.
Honestly, when the Rockies make an error, it stops you in your tracks.
Well,
you're like, whoa, look at that.
I mean, they've gone stretches where it's been 9, 10 games without making an error.
Two and 1 on Nolan, with the Rockies leading 4-0. 2 in the first, 2 here with 2 outs in the 4th. Outside. Yesterday, the Rockies got their first win of the year when trailing after 6 innings. Right now, they're playing with the lead, and they like it. 3-1. That's interesting, because it was not called a strike on the pitch by Jeff Kellogg. He checks with Marvin Hudson. Marvin said that Nolan went around. (3-2).
And all over the Subaru strike zone is Derek.
Another 3-2. And this ball's in the air to deep right field. McCutchen going back, way back to the wall. Can't catch it. He's going to need help from his center fielder, Hernandez. And it is a run-scoring double for Nolan Arenado. 5-0 Rockies.
I think Kutch, too, caught his elbow on the fence out in right field. He's holding that gingerly. 2 RBIs on the evening for Nolan. That gives him 31 on the season. Back-to-back doubles. The strength of Nolan. McCutcheon going back right here. He thinks he has a chance and then just ran out of room. Jumped up. Watch the right elbow. Right on the edge where there's no padding. Closer look on the Subaru Supermo. Right now he knows he's in trouble and that he's going to hit that wall and it's not going to feel good. All of this because the play wasn't made at second base on that ground ball.
3 after that error by Tomlinson. And now Cargo with the runner in scoring position. A strikeout against Samardzija, and he fouled out along the third base line in his first at bat against Rodriguez. See what he learned. On the inside corner, strike 1. Cargo owns a 14-game hitting streak against the Giants, in which he's hit .356. They do bring Crawford over to the right side of the diamond.
They didn't have that earlier tonight for Cargo, where it was complete shift. He was, now Crawford was right behind second base.
Outside.
.66 pitches for Rodriguez. He last pitched on Wednesday against Las Vegas, where he pitched 6 innings. So he's got an extra day of rest. He's working on 5 days rest.
And Cargo with one hopper to Belt, and that will end the inning. The Rockies come up with 3 runs in the 4th after the error, and they have a 5-0 lead. SportsNet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Pretty night, isn't it always, in Denver? Rockies in the 5th inning, pretty scoreboard. They're up 5-0 on the Giants, riding Kyle Freeland. He's looking to level his record at 5-5. His record's misleading because over his last half-dozen starts, he has been just splendid. He's pitched into the 7th inning at least in 6 straight. During that time, a 4-2 record at 2.01 ERA. Chris had to adjust some equipment.
You get a new glove.
A different glove?
Yeah, the other one broke.
Well, it's not brand new. That would be advisable.
No. No. Give it to the trainers. They'll fix it in a heartbeat.
Mac Williamson batting 6th in the Giants lineup. He'll be up first, and Brandon Crawford and Kelby Tomlinson. Rockies a game and a half up to begin the evening in the National League West. Just the second time through 54 games that the Rockies have been in first place. The other time was in 1995. First time they went to the postseason. And this ball's pretty well hit left center field. Parra on the move. Can he get there? Nope. And it'll be a leadoff double for Mac Williamson. Just the 4th hit for San Francisco.
Subaru Supermo. Williamson went down to get that. He didn't get it off the barrel. He had to drop that back knee. He got him closer towards the label, but shows you some strength of Mac Williamson to double over the head of Gerardo. Second time tonight in the 4 innings, or 5 innings, excuse me, that the Giants have had the leadoff batter on.
Crawford 9th in the league in hitting at .311. He's tied with his teammate Bell. Brandon hit a fly ball to Parra his first time up. Hit below 200 in April.
He hit 190 in April.
Carr going right. We'll get behind this one, and I don't think Williamson's going to go anywhere. Nope. Not down 5-0. Not going to challenge Little Pony's arm. 1 out.
Fans, get Rockies ready at your local Rockies dugout store. From tickets to merchandise, the dugout stores have all the bases covered all year long.
Nicely done, Huey. We'll give you another read a little bit later on.
Okay.
Here's Kelby Tomlinson. You told a story today. We were down on the field, and it comes to mind when you were a young player with Montreal, and Montreal was playing Cincinnati. And you don't remember what happened, but you think you made an error that may have been really costly late in the game?
Yeah, it cost us the game, and I was pretty dejected and sitting on the bench.
Tomlinson pops this up to shallow right. Cargo's coming on. He's got it.
And this was back before players would really fraternize with one another, but Ted Powers he came over and kind of put his arm around me when the game was over. I was still in the dugout. I was like, what's he coming over here for? And he just kind of went like this: hey, it's going to be okay. You know, you're here for a reason. And this was another team in an era when you didn't do that.
Yeah, you didn't cross that line.
There was an imaginary
other,
line that there was no fraternizing. It was against the rules. Yeah, umpires would write you up, and you get fined if you did it. Now, you know, you can take guys to dinner and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But it just kind of reminds me of the fraternity of baseball.
And the reason I thought of it is Kelby Tomlinson just had a rough night defensively, and nobody feels worse. But I've always believed, and I know you do too, I mean, we know each other really well, that true baseball players, young baseball players, if you're listening in, when somebody struggles, you put your arm around it because that's you the following day or the following week or the following month. At some point, that's you. That's right.
Yeah. But while the game's going on, you take advantage of those, no doubt about it. And so it's sometimes even afterwards or the next day, you might see him in the hallway, you might see him 2 days from now, and something could be said, you know, hey, you've played in this game a long time, Kelby. You've been here for a while now. Those games happen. Everybody has made mistakes one time or another. I've made 3 errors in one game once. Talk about wanting to pick up second base and crawl in that hole, pull the base over me.
Did you do your Mike Gallego? You know how Gags always talks to young fielders?
Yep.
It's great. He goes, hey, you make an error, what'd you say? And kids will go, you know, I don't know. Hey, hit it to me. I want it again.
Yeah.
Make another error. And the kids catch on. Hit it to me.
Huh?
And then Gags says, I make another error. What are you saying? The kid's all loud as can be. Hit it to me. He goes, no, hit it to somebody else.
I didn't want the ball hit to me.
1-2 on Derek Rodriguez. Runner at second is Mac Williamson, a leadoff double. Rockies have taken advantage of the miscues by Kelby Tomlinson. They have a 5-0 lead, trying to make it 2 straight against the Giants here at Coors Field. The right man on the hill, Kyle Freeland.
Well, he certainly deserves a 5th win. Thought that start against the Dodgers in LA, the Rockies were shut out in that ball game. He deserved a better fate.
Remember earlier I said that after throwing a lot of pitches his first 4 games, his last 6 he's averaged, Huey, 14.4 pitches an inning. Major league average is over 16. And here tonight, he is 64 pitches in and 1 pitch away from being done with the 5th inning. And Cargo in deep right. Can he get there? No. This is going to bring home a run. And Pudge's kid has his first major league hit. The former outfielder, an RBI double. And they're not waving at Derek. They're waving to the Rockies so they get that baseball.
Fake that he threw it over the fence. This was supposed to be a cutter to get under the hands of Derek. Pretty strong swing inside out over the head of Cargo in right field. I knew this was going to be trouble off the bat. And then one hops the wall.
Steve Foster counseling Kyle Freeland. Put the inning down right here. He's got Gorkys Hernandez up. Ground ball to second. And a jam shot pop up to short.
Got to be careful in this very first pitch to Gorkys, where he's going to try to ambush the pitch from Kyle.
We were all over it.
Well, because he got jammed the last time. So you don't want to ball in on your hands. That's what you're thinking when you're going to the plate. The second thing you're thinking, well, the pitching coach just came out, so I'm going to get a fastball. All of those things lead me to, I'm going to swing the first pitch, and I'm going to try to hit in the left field seats. Yet he was still targeted.
Here's the 0-1. And a ground ball foul. Hernandez batting the leadoff spot for Bruce Bochy tonight for the 16th time this year. And he's probably found a home there. He's batting .328. The other guy that Boch puts in that spot has hit a collective .220. (0-2). Kyle making his 4th Coors Field start this year, his first 3. He's fashioned a 1.40 ERA. Is that any good?
Real good. It's Atlanta, San Diego, and Milwaukee.
And weak contact to short. Story will throw out Hernandez. Couple of doubles produce the first run for the Giants. Middle of 5. Rockies 5. San Francisco 1. Ryan McMahon in the 5th inning. Time for Lowe's whole team together. The Rockies are 3rd in the National League with 66 home runs. They have 3 guys in double figures. One who's just a home run away in Ian Desmond. Blackman 12, Story now with 11, and Nolan with 10. Rockies not hit a home run yet tonight. That may be coming. Trevor came close. His triple off the scoreboard in right. His first time up. In the 3rd inning, he didn't get a pitch to hit, and he walked. Story, over his last 20 games, hitting .293, 4 home runs, 18 ribbies. He looks like a different player offensively than what we saw the first couple of weeks of the season. Crawford on the pop-up. Must wait. 1 gone. That'll bring up Ian Desmond looking for his first knock tonight. It'll also give us a moment to check in with Taylor McGregor in center field. Hey, Taylor.
Yeah, you guys were talking about home runs and how well Brad Hopp was in that role. The clutch homers. Well, somebody's got a nickname for him. Check out this tweet by Robert. We always loved Brad Hopp when he was here. We had a name for him, and it used to be Brad Up because he used to hit it up and away, up and out. How about that, Drew?
Yeah, he'd hit it up and away. And there's a base hit for Desmond as he hit it off the leg of Rodriguez. That thing was smoked up the middle.
Right off his right leg. Looking right below the kneecap. Wow. I mean, he hustled after it, tried to make the play, couldn't get the handle on it. Be a base hit for Ian.
We've talked a lot about Derek being Pudge's son, and you saw him when he was born and when he was a little tyke when you were playing with the Rangers. With Boch going out there, he understands the emotions that Pudge must have from afar, and in that he had the opportunity to go out to the mound and visit with his son Brett when he pitched briefly for the San Francisco Giants.
I mean, it's one thing to watch your son play, and then, as Billy said, even play together down in Puerto Rico in the winter leagues. He's going to have to come out. Yeah. But how about managing your own son? That'd be hard.
That'd be really hard. That would be really hard. So Derek Rodriguez, the second Giant pitcher, has had to leave because of injury. 5-1 Colorado. He'll get as much time as he needs because of the injury to Rodriguez. Didn't look to be particularly serious, but one of to make sure that he's okay, making his major league debut tonight. So Bruce Bochy's taking him out again. Jeff Samardzija went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs, and had to leave with right shoulder tightness. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Ryan Spilborghs, Taylor McGregor in center field, and it's Achieving More, brought to you by AT&T. Desmond, last 10 ball games, 9 hits. He's driven in 10. Just had that base hit. He's been grinding all year, and you guys as former players understand that. And I think his intent every time up, he said, I'm going to get my A swing off. And Spilly, he's getting some more results with that swing.
You can. I think the most important part is, especially playing here at Coors Field, and something that Ian Desmond really, when we start looking back to it last year, and we always chronicle certain situations when a player doesn't get a full spring training. He got hurt, then he joined a team mid-season and he tried to just catch up. And this year, I felt like he was trying to find his mechanics. Once you see guys starting to use the whole field here, not being afraid to get jammed, where you understand there are plenty of hits to right field, there are plenty of hits in front of outfielders if you're willing to get jammed. And we're starting to see an approach. The balls hit to right field, the singles hit to right field. Last night his approach was great. It's going to come together for him. And what guys go through, the darkness that you're going through, especially when you have salary associated to it, it's a very difficult time to listen to other people and take criticism. And that's when you need coaches like Jeff Salazar, like Dwayne Espy, a manager like Bud Black that supports you. When you have teammates patting you on the back. To your story, Huey, with Ted Powers, like how important it is for guys to just put your arm around somebody, regardless of who you are. And we're starting to see that now for Ian Desmond.
Did you guys at one time or another, or several times in your career, get up in the middle of the night, grab a bat or pretend to grab a bat in front of a mirror in your hotel room, in your bedroom at home when you were playing?
Yes. Yes. I remember a couple times just waking up in the middle of the night after I'd had a dream about maybe my setup. So I got out of bed. You always have a bat as a player. Either under your bed, along the wall, wherever it may be, grabbed it, kind of, worked with it, and then thought I was in a good place, put it back down, jumped back in bed, went back to sleep.
Spilly?
Every guy wakes up in the middle of the night, jumps out of bed, thinks they figured something out with their swing, looks in the mirror, and then jumps back in bed. Can't wait to go to the field the next day.
That's right.
It happens all the time.
It does.
I still do it.
Yeah.
I still think I can just get my swing right.
This ball looks pretty good off the bat by McMahon, and it is going to elude Williamson, and it stays in the yard. That helps. Around third, and then stopping is Desmond. I thought that may allow Desi the opportunity to score, and I think wisely, though, Stu Cole held him late.
I think this ball off the bat caught Williamson by surprise on the Subaru Supermo. He got it on the sweet spot, but Williamson started to move over, and then when he started his route, had to reroute, like Siri tells you to do sometimes. And well, this isn't gonna do it. Desi's pointing to Stu. Go ahead and send me home. I'm good. I'm good. But no, Stu was right, because that ball was coming in, and he would have been out by a mile.
Hey, Hugh, you remember what, as Chris Iannetta steps up, remember what McMahon told us the other day? One of the things he worked on when he went down to Albuquerque, doing what he's always done well, and that is go the other way.
Yeah, try not to pull everything. And off the left-hander. He got the start last night off of Suarez, got a base hit his first time off the lefty. Now they bring the lefty out of the bullpen, and he takes him on a double almost off the wall in left field.
Infield's halfway with Iannetta at the plate. He takes inside 1-1. Situational at bat for Chris. He's at a 5-0 lead. Rodriguez, who just departed, his first major league hit, opposite field double to drive in a run in the top of the 5th inning. And this ball smoked to center. Desi's got a tag. They go back to the bag, and he'll come home. McMahon tags up. Chris Iannetta delivering the Rockies' 6th run and his 13th RBI.
It was great, too, to get that run back that the Giants scored the top half of this inning.
It Desi almost had an oopsie on the base
He
pass.
almost had one of those. Oh, he's going to make it. It's going to fall in. I got it. Oh, I better go back and tag up. But because it was hit so deep, he didn't have to worry about it. He's able to go back and tag up.
Now Kyle Freeland, who roped a double to right his last time. That run will be charged to the account of Derek Rodriguez. He's going to give up 4 runs, but only one of which was earned in 3 1/3. And this is to Tomlinson. Look at the Rockies pitcher, Freeland, get up that line. I mean, he made that a close play.
Bang, bang.
He just loves to play. That's the bottom line. I asked Buddy about it about a week and a half ago. Remember, he was doing the same thing. I said, would you prefer him to go a little slower? He goes, no, I don't want to take that away from him. 6-1 Rockies.
Playing.
They just got word from New York that the call will stand, and as you can see, as soon as it hits leather, that is considered a catch. So Bill caught it just a smidgen in front of Kyle Freeland arriving, but you gotta love how he plays, man.
And you see how close it was on the Subaru Supermo.
He's not a pitcher, he's a baseball player.
Yeah, you know, some people would say, well, yeah, you can't run that hard because you might get injured. Well, you know what? If it happens, it happens. You don't hope that it happens.
You don't want to take it away.
I don't try to put a governor on somebody in the way they play.
Yeah. Spilly, what do you have?
Well, we know how much Kyle loves to play baseball, but do you know how much Kyle loves Denver? He loves it a lot. In fact, he's got tattoos on his arm to prove it. He also has this. His mother was a member of a DPS elementary school. She worked in the office, and earlier this week, Kyle wanted to give back to the DPS school system because of the impact the school's had on his personal life. He went and visited Castro Elementary School. He says he wants to make sure he's part of the elementary school process, the DPS school system, and over the next couple of years, as long as we see Kyle Freeland, I'm sure you're going to see him in a lot more elementary schools trying to give back. And I think it's great.
You know what? Spilly, he's a Colorado kid through and through. You know, one of his parents went to Colorado State. The other one went to DU, I believe. And you know, we all know went to Thomas Jefferson High School. Whenever he pitches, there's a lot of Freelands in the stands. And some are even related to him.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more over the next couple of years. I mean, I was just thinking about how important it was for me when I had a guy in my area when I grew up in Santa Barbara meeting somebody from my county. It was Jesse Orozco, and my love for the game increased even more when I knew that somebody was from Santa Barbara playing Major League Baseball. Rockies fans get to watch a kid from Denver and compete in the mound, and then not only compete, give back to the community. Go talk to kids in elementary school because it's important to him. He was a part of this.
Yep.
And I think that aspect, I know my son is a huge fan of Kyle Freeland. He's like, that's a kid from Denver. That's right.
Now, there's a lot of things to admire about Kyle, and I would think near the top of the charts would be, as we've discussed, how hard he plays, how competitive he is.
Love his moxie.
Yes, he's got that.
Yeah.
Not every gifted player has it. Certainly has it to the level that 21 has. Here he's ahead of Posey 0-2. Outside 1-2. Struck Buster out his first time. Buster lost control of his bat. He was fooled so badly and threw it against the netting over the first base dugout. Also a ground ball to third.
You can't stay in one spot on the Subaru strike zone with Buster Posey. Posey can hit the high pitch, almost 400 up high. So you got to go down, you got to go in and out to him.
Almost guarantee tomorrow night our old friend Nick Hundley will be catching. Now the question will be, will Posey be at first base and say Belt in left field? John Gray's going for the Rockies. Or will Bochy give Buster another day off because he missed 2 with a hip injury coming into this series?
Well, if they give him tomorrow off, which I'm not sure too many Rockies fans would be sad about that, they're off on Thursday, so then they've got 2 days, and actually then they play at night against Philadelphia, so it's really close to 3 days.
3-2, high fly ball deep left field. Buster ran into that one and has hit it out. Just his 3rd home run of the year. He should rest tomorrow.
That's what I said, yeah.
6-2.
It's his first home run in 33 games for Buster Posey. He was on pace to hit 8 home runs on the year. The last one was April 11th. What did I say about the high pitch to Buster Posey? Well, that's where that was on the Subaru Supermo, right above the belt. And he didn't miss it.
Well, you said it during the at-bat. You can't throw a pitch in the same locale twice to Posey. He'll adjust.
Well, he's done it for so many years. He's such a great hitter.
McCutcheon's got 2 hits tonight, 2 singles. At the knees for a strike.
And that's where he wanted that pitch to Buster.
Andrew McCutcheon from Fort Meade, Florida. Told this story many times through the years. He led his county in hitting as an 8th grader. I'm not talking about 8th grade baseball. I'm talking about varsity baseball
In Florida.
in Polk County, Florida. Who's the leading hitter? Senior over there at Ocala, junior over there at Fort Meade. No. You see that little guy, the 8th grader? He led the whole county in hitting.
Come on, you're not serious.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's a great story.
Everybody goes, he's going to be a big leaguer when he grows up. They were right.
Uh-huh.
2-2 on McCutcheon. Strike 3.
Right at the bottom of the Subaru strike zone. Good pitch, good call. All kids through the gates for the Rockies Diamondbacks game on June 9th will receive MLB Play Ball Weekend wristbands.
That'll bring up Evan Longoria. Ground ball back to the mound, and also ground ball to second. 0 for 2 for Longoria, and he's out front there. Good changeup. Longoria started the year, I told you, very slowly. He was 4 for 35 to begin. He's been close to 290 since. Guys like McCutchen, Longoria, they're not going to panic.
Well, they've played for so long.
They've played for so long, and they've enjoyed great success for most of their careers.
But still eats at him.
Here's the 0-2. This ball's well hit to left, and this is going to get out. That was a little too good. 0-2, obviously. Yeah. Posey and Longoria solo home runs, and the Giants are within 3 runs. That's something Kyle has not been giving up, is home runs.
No, he gave up in his first 4 starts 5 home runs. In his last 6 starts coming into tonight, just 1 home run. Subaru Supermo, I think if you put those, if we split screen the pitch to Longoria and the pitch to Buster Posey, they would be in the same spot. And you're right, Drew, 0-2, that's just way too good of a pitch.
Hey, Spill, you're down there at field level. Longoria, I don't want to call him an older player, but he's on the other side of 30, and now everybody panics other side of 30. But you're talking about dropping the head. He was really short to that baseball.
He's always had a short, quick swing. I mean, that's the reason why he's been able to turn on pitches year after year. After he was jogging down about 15 feet, my favorite part was watching him just blowing a bubble. He's done it so many times before.
Remember what I said about split screen? Watch, it's going to be somewhere in this area on both of them. Look at that.
Well, what do we say? There's up, bad up, and there's good up.
Those are bad ups.
Right, because that's still in a happy zone where you raise it another 6-7 inches, and it's hard for even a great major league hitter to get their bat to it. 2-1 on Bell. 1 out, 2 runs in. First time this year a Rockies pitcher has allowed a home run on an 0-2 pitch. And this is shot the other way. So 3 hits here in the inning against Kyle, and that'll bring up Mac Williamson.
2 home run pitches from the Subaru Supermo angle. Both of them were the same, trying to be a cut fastball. You talk about Longoria on the right, Posey on the left. He had to pull his hands in just a little bit more than Posey did. That's why his was pulled more.
Thing to keep in mind tonight, the Rockies had a pretty comfortable 6-1 lead. Now it's 6-3, and Buddy's going to go get him. This, I don't want to say unraveled. That's too strong a term, but didn't see this coming the way things were going for Kyle. The first 5 innings, low pitch count. But Buddy Black's going to slap him on the backside and hand the ball to the bullpen. 6-3 Rockies. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Perfect night to be outdoors. The Rockies leading the Giants 6-3 at Coors Field. And Scott Oberg will make the appearance tonight, his 11th of the year, first in a while. He was down in Albuquerque until he was summoned yesterday. For more on that story, here's Spilly.
Yeah, it's a great story. Scott Oberg was on his way to Denver when there was some weather. And listen to what Bud Black had to say about where his reliever was.
Hey, where's Oberg? Albuquerque. What? Albuquerque? He's supposed to be in Denver like at 5:15. So that was a good one. Hey, rule number 1. Be ready for anything. And rule number 2, everything's going to be okay.
Oberg ended up joining the team yesterday in the 7th inning. And that was due in part to Adam Ottavino being put on the place on the disabled list right before the game to an oblique. An oblique that it wasn't one pitch, you guys. It was just a culmination of pitches over time. And Adam will be fine. Guys?
You want to know why? That's rule number 2.
Everything will be okay.
Everything will be okay. Mac Williamson at the plate. And he takes inside 2-0.
Well, Scott down at AAA in 18 ball games was 1-0, had a couple saves with a 1.88 ERA.
He struggled with inherited runners this year.
Yeah, 11 of 13 scored.
Fouled off.
But Billy was talking about, you know, the circumstances. Remember the rain we had here yesterday? So his plane was circling around in Denver, and then they realized, you know what? We're getting a little low on fuel. So that's why they had to then go to Albuquerque.
But he's like, I thought he was supposed to be in Denver. He said, we were getting him from Albuquerque. Why is he still in Albuquerque?
But they were in Sacramento.
Right. Good fastball, of which you know Oberg possesses one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the 2 things that Bud said when they sent Scott out, what he needed to work on was more depth on his slider, because it was a little too flat. They wanted to see a little more depth there, and then also holding runners. Those were the 2 areas when Scott went to AAA that they really emphasized.
No swing, 3-2. Couple of guys that have already been mentioned on our top 25. Of course, Brad Hopp tonight, Jason Jennings recently. I think that guy's going to make the list. We might not talk about him for a while. 3-2 on Williamson. Belt conservative lead. And this ball's lined toward right center field. Cargo can't get it. Shot against the wall. Belt to third. And he'll stop there. And the Giants are very much now in this game. It's 6-3. Runners at second and third, 1 out, with Brandon Crawford coming up. And remember, the Rockies not only without Adam Ottavino, they are without probably, not definitely, but probably tonight, Wade Davis, because of how many pitches he threw last night.
Well, that's why it's going to be somebody else is going to have to step up and be the man. And right now, you dual action out in the Rockies bullpen. Mike from the left side, Brooks from the right side.
1 out. Giants were down 6-1 when this inning began. Crawford tonight, a fly ball to left, a fly ball to right. He's hitting .430 in the month of May, which is the best mark in the National League. Line drive, and Arenado's there, thankfully. 2 outs. You'll take it out any way you can get one.
Well, now you're going to go from Brandon Crawford to Kelby Tomlinson, hitting 225 on the season, right on right. But don't go to sleep. Don't think, oh, I just, got Brandon Crawford out.
No, I mean, last night he threw out a couple hits to Tomlinson. It kind of emerged from that funk you were talking about. Tonight, a fly ball to left and a fly ball to right, just like Crawford. Good pitch, inside corner, strike one at 97. Boy, this is a real important sequence right here.
Yes, it is. The momentum had gotten back into the Giants. A little pep in their step.
Be on your toes if you're Ionetta when you call that slider. This guy's not an easy guy to catch because his ball moves so much and he throws so hard.
I think that's the key. He throws a hard slider.
Well, that was nasty. He had some cut on it at 96, 1 and 2.
Oh, the two fastballs he's gotten for strikes, one 97, the other 96.
A pitch away. Here's the 1-2. Got him. He went. Whoa!
Half the team's running off the field.
Guess I was wrong. I thought he went clearly.
So did Chris, because he went to tag Kelby.
What do you have, Huey?
I think he did. Just, I mean, it's not the breaking of the wrist, it's where the barrel of the bat is.
Breaks that line, the first base line. That is what the umpires are, one of the things they're looking at. 2-2. Well, it's 3-2. Gregor Blanco is in the on-deck circle to hit in the pitcher's spot. Slider or fastball?
You got to go fastball. Stay away.
Fastball, and it's fouled into the upper deck.
Now Chris is going to go out. So, okay, this is your pitch.
Been out there for a while too at second base.
I think this is, what is your pitch though? What do you feel comfortable throwing? Tell me. And we'll put that sign down because you got to be convicted on it.
Ground ball to Desmond at first, and Ober got to the bag before Tomlinson dove in. Runner stranded at second and third. Two solo home runs for the Giants, Posey and Longoria. The Rockies lead 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Celebration of the 18th greatest Rocky of all time on our list is voted on by the media, and that is Brad Hopp. Check out this tweet, probably my favorite of the night. Nikki talking about her favorite memory, saying she remembers calling her dad to tell him I got Hopper's autograph at Coors Field. She said, my dad was so excited for me as Hop was his favorite. My dad passed away unexpectedly shortly after that, and we always bonded over the Rockies. Forever memories. That was a sweet one, Drew.
Yes, it was. Brad brought smiles to a lot of Rockies fans during his tenure with Colorado. Earlier we were talking about Brandon Webb. I think it was Spilly was talking about how he owned Brandon Webb. He had 367 against Webb with 4 home runs. That was called a strike.
A couple nights, Charlie has not been particularly pleased with the strike zone.
Top of the Rockies order. Going to get some runs back. 6-3 now the Rockies lead. They led 5-0 and 6-1. Will Smith got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. He did give up a double to McMahon and a sac fly by Chris Iannetta. Gets her even at 9.
I think for the Giants too, there's going to be a few new faces here tomorrow. A couple guys are packing their bags in Sacramento.
The River Cats. Charlie was going to leave it on Jeff Kellogg. Knock on Jeff, but he was protected.
Out of the umpire's hand.
Will Smith, one of 5 relievers used yesterday by the Giants. He went 2/3 of an inning. Strike 3. That did have the bottom of the zone, so Charlie's gone. Going to bring up Parra. He's got a single and a double tonight at 3 at bats. A couple of runs scored.
You don't want to miss this one. The first 15,000 fans to the gates for the Rockies Dodgers game on June 2nd will receive a 25th anniversary season beach towel courtesy of King Soopers.
You know, could have used a beach towel last night.
Spilly.
Yeah. Desi got him and good.
Oh, didn't he though? And I don't think it was that suit that was water repellent either.
No, it was just a cheap one. Many of mine are.
Were your shoes squeaking as you walked out of here last night?
They were awful. So I'm wearing different dryer shoes today. Yeah, it was great.
There's Chris, and there you are.
The best part is these are done by Matt Dirksen. Dirksen said he saw Desi circling me like a shark. And he got his camera ready.
How do you know for sure that Desi did it?
Look at the picture, Drew.
That's what I'm saying.
Worth 1,000 words. Payback.
Hey, Spilly, was it last year when the Rockies clinched and we were in the clubhouse that you were wearing that suit that was water repellent?
Yeah, last year I wore my water repellent. That's just cruel.
I like, you know,
and
hey,
you kept
the show must go on.
What do you say? Positive thoughts.
2 strikes on Parra. Desmond got us last year in the clubhouse in that celebration.
Yeah, that's okay. Didn't mind it at all.
Not at all. Rolled toward Tomlinson. 2 gone. That'll bring up Nolan.
Have you guys ever been part of a Powerade bath? Have you ever had one?
No.
Have you ever done the ice bucket challenge? Remember that from a couple years ago?
Yes.
You want to try one tomorrow?
No, the problem with Powerade, unlike just straight water,
Yeah,
is
we'll do water. We'll do a water bucket.
Oh,
What are we going to change into?
Yeah.
You're just going to drive home wet like I did.
That's what I did after they clinched last year to go to the playoffs. That's what I had to do.
That's fine. You go first. Yeah, you know what? Many times in my life, I've said, you're an idiot to myself. Self, you're an idiot. Well, that night, I said, oh, I'm going to bring, it's not like, you know, we've seen it before in 07 and 09, right? I brought a shirt to change into. Like, would you think it's not going to get anywhere else?
Right. So you just had the shirt.
I just had the shirt, which
I had my
the whole outfit.
I need pants, you need everything.
So I had, yeah, I had to take off, the shirt was soaked, so I put my suit jacket, which I was wise enough to leave up here to keep dry. Wore that home.
Yeah. Hope there's several more this year.
So the Ice Bucket Challenge, what happened in 2014, and that was an ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, bringing awareness to ALS. But I do suggest that people try this at home so they know what it feels like.
No, all I was going to say about the Powerade, it's a little
Sticky.
Yeah, sticky.
Yeah, the gum on your head doesn't do anything with the plastic gum wrappers. No big deal. But ice and water and Powerade. And Powerade will stay on you for a long time.
This is popped up on the infield. Brandon Belt will make the catch. Rockies go quietly in the 6th inning. So we turn the page to inning number 7. Colorado 6 and the Giants 3. Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village look back. Kyle Freeland cruised into the 6th inning. Buster Posey would hit a home run against him. And then he also gave up a home run to Evan Longoria on an 0-2 pitch. Rockies got a bunch of offense early in the game, took advantage of an error. Jeff Samardzija was upset because he hurt his shoulder and had to leave after 1 inning. The Rockies got 2 off Samardzija. They had a 5-0 lead, a 6-1 lead. The Giants, after those 2 solo home runs I described, are within 3, 6-3 as they come to bat in the 7th inning. Other guys, we keep saying this, have to step forward, as Buddy Black has described, with Adam Ottavino down for at least 10 days, and Wade Davis perhaps not available tonight. Mike Dunn, one of those guys, and he's out there in the 7th inning, and it's going to be Austin Jackson pinch hitting. It's 9-1-2.
Mike's in a pretty good place right now because in the past 7 games he's pitched 5 innings, has not allowed a run, and a 133 batting average against since May 10th.
Walks have been an issue for Mike. And he falls behind 2-0.
Averaging just under a walk per inning pitched.
3-0. Cuts into the zone. And strike two, 3-2.
Jackson seen his playing time diminish the last 10 to 12 games.
Gorkys Hernandez, tough for Bochy to take him out of the lineup. Three-two. And a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Now you can watch your favorite Isotope stars make their journey to the big leagues with the Rockies. AT&T Sportsnet is your home for Rockies baseball all season long and is available on most cable and satellite packages. Visit AT&TSportsnet.com for channel information. Sometimes baseball is a game of momentum. Rockies need to take it back. Gorkys Hernandez 0 for 3. Jackson can run. He's at first. No offer at that pitch by Hernandez. It's 1-0.
The Rockies were up 6-1, and the 2 runs that the Giants scored in the 6th. 7 hits in the last 2+ innings for the Giants.
He might get a ground ball here. He does, but it's foul.
Corey Gearin will be the next Giants reliever used.
Conservative lead, but Jackson draws a throw. Two and one.
Brian Shaw's just gotten up in the Rockies bullpen now.
Misses down low. 3-1.
Down by 3. I don't think Bochy will put the runner Jackson in motion.
And that's a walk. And now you have 2 runners on. And that is for the last 6 games that Mike has walked at least 1. And you have Buster Posey striding to the plate.
13,
Not the guy you want to see if you're Bud Black.
13 walks in 13 2/3 innings for Mike.
Posey homered last inning. That was against Kyle Freeland. And then you don't get pitches like that. That's tough. That's all over the bottom of the zone.
Well, if you're constantly in the zone, the umpire starts to get into a rhythm.
This ball in the air to Charlie in deep right center. He's going to get there. Tagging's Jackson. Also tagging's Hernandez, and the throw goes to second to keep Hernandez at first and the double play in order. First and third, one out, and that'll bring up McCutchen. Tonight's attendance is brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Tuesday night in late May, we welcome 27,348 to the beautiful Palace of Coors Field. McCutchen 2 for 3 tonight. Called out on strikes against Freeland in his last at bat.
McCutchen 2 for 3 on the night. 0 for 2 against Mike.
33-year-old Mike Dunn celebrated a birthday a few days ago, and he has that pitch fouled off.
He celebrated a Vegas Golden Knights Game 1 victory over the Washington Capitals yesterday, as Mike lives in Vegas, huge Vegas fan.
Mike in his career has always flirted with walking some guys, about 4.5 per 9 innings throughout his career, but this year it has been alarmingly high. He can still get out of this with a double play ball, and this should do it. There's one, there's two. Desmond stayed on the bag. 6-4-3. Boy, was that ever large. Rockies maintain their 3-run advantage.
Our list of the top 25 greatest Rockies of all time with Brad Hop with this tweet right here. Love Brad Hop, and it's always a pleasure to have him around. Still a fave after all these years. But now it's time to move on to number 17 on our list. And you ready for this? Here we go. Drum roll to Brian Fuentes. We had him in attendance this weekend. 3.38 ERA with 115 saves with the Rockies. That is the most in franchise history. It was quite the pleasure to watch him over the years. Drew, can't wait to celebrate this one.
Yeah, we just had Tito on.
We couldn't give it away, though, when he was on.
No, we weren't allowed to tell him.
No.
Sworn to secrecy.
We just told him he was ahead of Brad Hop and Garrett Atkins.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll get to visit again with Brian. Corey Guerin's in the ball game now for San Francisco, and here's Cargo at the plate, 0 for 3, and he's now 1 for 4. Line single to right. Cargo, 7 hits in his last 12 at bats, and not just any kind of hit. He's finding the barrel frequently.
Good to see it. A lot of hard work in the cage. Dwayne Espy, Jeff Salazar. You know, sometimes people want to say, oh, the hitting coach not getting this guy right. They don't see the amount of hours, the time, the video that these guys put in with each and every player, trying to make sure they're right. And the counseling sessions.
Yeah, a coaching staff at the major league level, or coaching staff at any level, look at it. That hit him? Or do you get hurt getting out of the way?
Remember Nolan got hurt the other day getting out of the way? I think Trevor might have tweaked his lower back trying to get out of the way. And hopefully it's not a oblique or a rib cage muscle as you're twisting that fast.
He's right back in the box. There's the 1-0. 1-1. No, but the amount of time, you're right, that the hitting coaches put in, the pitching coaches, I mean, it's a multitude of things. You look at Dwayne Espy. They're preparing their position players for the pitcher who's starting and the pen going into a series, but they're also looking at where guys are with their swing. They may be looking back. If a guy's struggling, hey, let's look when you were hot, you know, a year ago in September. Let's look at how those swings match up. They get a ton of help from Brian Jones, the Rockies' great video coordinator. That's why when people say, really, the coaches get their 7-8 hours before first pitch?
And think about this. You know every single day when you go to your job that something's going to be wrong. Somebody's going to need fixing.
That's right.
It's never, hey, you know what? Today's going to be a great game.
I got eight guys locked in.
Not much going on.
This is in the air to shallow center. Cargo returns to first, 1 out. And that'll bring up Desmond. Desi's 1 for 3, scored a run. Well, Buddy was talking about that the other day. He said he said this all year long pretty much. He gets daily questions about the Rockies offense, but it had been struggling until really the last couple of days. And he said, well, we have to get a couple other guys going with the Nolans and the Charlie Blackmans. Trevor Story's been going well. He goes, we need a couple more guys. And then he said, with Ottavino down, he said, we need a couple of other guys to step up and start to go. He goes, understanding that you're never going to have everybody going at the same time.
Whether it's the hitters or guys in the pen. You hope to have 5, maybe 6 guys going in the same direction. But if you have 4 or 5 out in the bullpen that are going good, you can get away with a couple of the other guys not pitching in situations where it's really impacting the game.
Right. You back away from them until hopefully they get right, and then you can reinsert them.
But if you only got a couple guys going right out in the bullpen, that's when it's really a struggle.
One out, Desmond at the plate, 0-1, and running is Cargo, and that throw is not going to get him. Buster pulls it right on the bag. That's Cargo's third stolen base. And he's, again, we've talked about this, he's picked his spots this year to run, and for about 2 years, he rarely ran.
Now he picks it, and Ian knows the kind of jump he gets, so he just backs off. Hand in there before the tag is applied. Well, the Rockies were caught last night for the first time in 16 straight attempts. And now they're right back on the plus side. Coming into the game, it was 81.3% success ratio on stolen bases. I think Buddy wants to know, was that, did he look over it? Was that a mound visit?
Outside, 1-2 on Desmond. And this is poked to shallow right. It's going to drop, and Cargo's going to come around to score. Desmond heading towards second. He's safe with a double, and the Rockies now lead at 7-3. That's 3 straight ball games that Ian Desmond has come through with either a hit or a sac fly in an upside-down count, Jeff.
It's a 1-2 count. He just uses the whole field, drops it into right field. That is 28 RBIs, third on the team for the Rockies. Look how far that ball is off the plate, and he's just trying to make contact, and then he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop, say, I'm satisfied with the single. I'm going to go ahead and challenge McCutchen that he can't throw me out, and Cargo comes home after the stolen base. And the other thing, Drew, you're back to a 4-run lead.
That is huge, and I'll tell you what, the batting average ain't pretty, and Ian Desmond be the first to tell you that. But you can't deny one thing. He has come up with some really large hits, some home runs, decisive type of blows. You know, the one against Doolittle in Washington.
Yeah, in the 9th inning of that game, the home run in San Francisco, the home run in LA.
This is a big ribby because I think people at home, it's kind of an uneasy feeling. You know, the Rockies bullpen is short a couple arms tonight. The Giants seemingly have taken momentum back. That's a big ribby right there.
Huge ribby.
5 RBIs last 3 games for Desmond. Man takes outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. About the Giants too for Ian Desmond, career 300+ hitter against him. He's reached in 14 straight against the San Francisco Giants. Ball strike, 1-2 on McMahon. Ryan lined out to left, a strikeout, and then a double to left. Third inning in Los Angeles, Philadelphia leading the Dodgers 3-0. Dodgers came from behind to beat Philly last night.
Maeda on the hill for the Dodgers. Jake Arrieta for Philadelphia.
Arizona leading Cincinnati again. This time it's 4-1 in the 6th inning. They won 12-5 yesterday.
We just added another one. It's 5-1 now.
They just put that new number.
Yeah, they did. Just as you were saying it, put a 5 up. Not a 5 spot, just another run. Put them up by 4.
Big stolen base for Cargo. For years, he was a 20-plus stolen base guy. Been more aggressive early in the season this season. Last year, he went 3 out of 3 for the whole year. 2 out of 4 2 years ago. Of course, he had the knee injury a few seasons back, but he's running as well as he has in about 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
I said he worked on it this winter.
2-2, and this is going to be fielded by Crawford. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Hey, everybody gets some tacos tomorrow. The Rockies have scored 7 runs. Do not forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 in the evening, or late afternoon, however you describe that time frame. And you get your Rockies taco special at Masa Taco Bell. Iannetta, double, strikeout, and a sac fly to deep center. If Chris can keep the inning going, David Dahl will swing the bat. How about this on Iannetta? Quietly, Chris has reached in 18 consecutive games. It's one of the longest streaks going in baseball. Bet you didn't know that.
No, but
4th longest.
At times, though, it doesn't surprise you because of the walks and what he.
It's the 2nd longest of his career. You're right, he walks quite a bit. He usually has lengthy at bats. The longest of Chris's career was 26. And it's because of the walks. So it's not like he's on fire. In fact, over those 18 games, he's hitting only 200. But he's contributing. 0-2. Game-winning hit last night. Desmond at second, 2 outs. And that's up the middle. And here comes Desi home with the Rockies' 8th run. Chris Iannetta with his 2nd ribby of the night. 8-3. Boy, those are big runs. Keep coming back to the fact that it seemed like San Francisco, they got themselves back in the game, and now the Rockies have a 5-run lead again.
Let's don't lose sight of the fact that to get out of the 7th inning, there was a double play turned by the Rockies. So there was no run scored by the Giants. So that stole a little momentum from them. And then you come out in this inning, get 3 hits, score 2 runs. Chris again thinking right up the middle. Rockies, after that hit by Chris, are 6 for 16 with runners in scoring position. They've had 16 opportunities tonight.
David Dahl, and this ball's hammered deep left center field by Dahl. Way back. See you later. 2-run pinch hit home run, David Dahl. His 4th of the year.
It's a spurred hit, pinch hitting. Now 3 RBIs.
Tacos tomorrow. That was an Oppo taco.
And a long one. I was talking to David in the locker room today, asking him how his shin was after the collision at second base yesterday. Well, I think it's okay when you see a swing like that. He said it was a little sore, but after you hit a home run, you don't have to run hard on it. Trot around the bases. And now you can start to breathe a little bit better. 10-3.
That's the first pinch hit home run of the year for the Rockies. Remember the first 5 weeks of the season? The Rockies seemingly couldn't buy a pinch hit. Any kind of pinch hit.
Didn't matter. Even a broken bat pinch hit.
Outside on Charlie, it's 2-0. He has electric hands because, again, he's not a big guy. He's wiry, strong, but he whips that barrel.
Look at that golfer you play with. Doesn't have a long, you know, he's not a big guy, but he can hit it 325 yards.
Williamson secures the catch. That will end the inning, but the Rockies cross the plate 4 times. Highlighted by Dahl's pinch hit, 2-run homer. 10-3, Colorado. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. Kyle Freeland went 5 1/3, and the first 5 were terrific. Gave up a couple of solo home runs in the 6th and gave way to the bullpen. Kyle in line for his 5th victory of the season. Continues to, every 5th day, produce, if not a dominant start, a start that's going to give his club a great chance at victory, and the Rockies now enjoying a 10-3 lead. Brian Shaw is now in the ball game for the Rockies in the 8th inning. He'll face Longoria, Belt, and Williamson.
What do we always say about a starter? Give your ball club a chance to win. You know, last start against the Dodgers, Kyle could easily won that game, but he got beat because the Rockies didn't score any runs. Tonight, you know, he got nicked for the 2 home runs, might have got a little frustrated, but still he goes 5 1/3, gives up only 3 runs.
30th appearance for Brian Shaw. Now the Rockies rotation, it's a young rotation that came together last year. I think collectively the most arm talent the Rockies have ever had, 1 through 5. And that's exactly what they do, Huey, what you just described. Every night they take the baseball. The guys behind them believe we have a real good chance of winning this game because the guy on the hill's going to keep us in it. And to be frank, there were years in the past, that pitch is in there, 2-1. There were years in the past where there were certain guys, it was really hit and miss. And,
yes.
And the guys behind them knew that.
Know. Yeah, you know, and as you said,
Longoria just hit another home run. That's his 3rd of the series, excuse me, his 2nd of the series, 2nd in as many at bats since the 6th inning. His 10th of the year.
His 29th RBI. 6th home run Brian Shaw has allowed. That was a backup cutter. Longoria did not miss it.
18th two-home run, 18th time in Longoria's terrific career that he's hit 2 homers in a game. First time in a couple of years. 1-1 on Belt. Well, the Rockies need Brian Shaw to get straightened out. 6 home runs in 27+ innings. He's unlike Brian Shaw. Belt tonight, a couple hits and 3 at bats. And now it's a full count. And a strikeout. On the cutter in. 1 out, and that'll bring up Mac Williamson. Brian's given up a run in 4 of his last 5 games.
I'll sign up to save a life. The Bonfils Blood Mobile will be in front of Coors Field near 20th and Blake Streets on May 30th from noon till 4:30 p.m. Visit bonfils.org to sign up.
Williamson 2 for 3, also a pair of doubles tonight. What do you got on Mac Williamson, Ryan?
Well, I love stories where guys reinvent themselves. In this offseason, Mac Williamson went to the same hit doctor that Justin Turner used, Doug Lotta. And it began with the conversation with Tim Fedorovich last year, backup catcher with the Giants, and they just began talking, and Tim changed up his swing. And now that was something that Mac went into the offseason and changed his swing just like Justin, and that's why if you're watching a swing from the side, you'll see a lot of similarities. And I think all the time when we watch major leaguers, and I love that we were talking about Ian Desmond earlier and how hitting coaches have probably the toughest job of all big league coaching job, because not everybody's always on the same page. Not everybody's coming home 4 for 4. There's always somebody 0 for 4. And when you're 26, 27 years old, to take a chance and change your swing, it takes a lot of courage.
That was a slider. Sure it does.
It does. Because you've had success in the past, and then you wonder, well, if I do change, I should be better, but if I don't, what happens then?
Rockies leading 10-4 here in the top of the 8th inning. Kid you've known since he was a youngster. You coached him. Ty Block, who's been in the rotation for the Giants, is actually warming up now in the pen. It's out in front of the plate. Ionetta's got a hustle, and nice play, Chris. Yeah.
Well, he called out Brian Shaw too. Knew he was going to have to barehand it and make the throw on the run to get Williamson. A little nubber out in front of the plate. He reached for it. Chris puts his hands up. I've got it. And then he's got a good lane to throw in because he's already inside. Watch how he buries his hand right into the grass. Boom. Great look on the Subaru Supermo. And you might say, why did he bury his hand? You act like you're pushing the ball kind of into the ground so you don't misgrab it. So that's the thought that you have as you go to get that ball. But you're talking about Ty Block warming up. My guess, they held him back from throwing his pin today.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, Samardzija, he used some pitchers yesterday. But
He went 73 bullets 2 days ago in Chicago.
Yeah, and in a short amount of time, too. It was as far as innings are concerned.
2 outs. Crawford at the plate, 0 for 3.
And they have a day off, so he's going to have an extra day of rest.
Well, you said it earlier, and you've seen it so many times through the year, especially with the NL West teams, because they're savvy to what can happen at Coors Field. You'll see a lot of times roster shuffle going on mid-series. Manipulation. Good word, yes. Bochy has.
I think the Dodgers were notorious for that last year.
Yeah. Not just here, they did it throughout the season. 3-2. Won the last couple of Gold Gloves at shortstop, Brandon Crawford. He's going to get a challenge from the Rockies shortstop. Swung on and missed. So Shaw gave up the home run to Longoria, and then he got a couple of strikeouts and a little roller in front of the plate. 10-4 Colorado. And by T-Mobile, show your military appreciation and use the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. The Rockies with 4 in the bottom of the 7th opened up a sizable lead again. The Giants did get another home run from Longoria as a pair of solo home runs tonight. 10-4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Parra, Arenado, and Cargo against Denver's own Ty Block down at Regis High School. Parra's had a nice ball game quietly. Couple hits, couple of runs scored. He's driven one in, 2 for 4.
As you said, Ty had the start against the Cubs the other night. Was staked to a 3-0 lead as he headed to the mound, but he wasn't able to hold it.
He's a versatile guy that I know, talking to Mike Krukow, who we have so much respect for. Mike, longtime big league pitcher, outstanding analyst for the Giants. He believes because of makeup, because of his adaptability to numerous roles. There's Mike and Kite, Dwayne Kuiper on the right, of course, that he's going to pitch a long time in the big leagues. He'll probably never be a superstar, but he's going to be around for a long time.
You know who, if you were to compare him to somebody on the Rockies, Chris Russell.
Yeah, it's fair, very fair.
Okay, where does he end up? As a starter, as a long, who knows? But right now, they need him in their rotation, and at times he's pitched really well for them there. The last 2 or 3 outings have not gone well for Ty.
Fouled off again by Parra. You know what's great on this homestand so far? Number one, the Rockies, they can close this thing out. Will have won 4 of their first 5. That's numero uno. But they're scoring runs. They've hit 333 so far on the homestand, 9 home runs, and they're averaging 6.8 runs a game.
Yeah, they scored 5 or more runs in each of the games on the homestand, and now this will be 4 straight games they've had double-digit hits.
And they hadn't put together double-digit hits in consecutive games at home until a couple of days ago. That's strike 3. So block freezes Parra, 1 out. I'll tell you something else. Check this out. The Rockies, among division leaders, have a minus 21 run differential. They're the only team that leads their division yet has scored fewer runs than the opposition, because they've had so many tight games. They're 10-5 in 1-run games, and they haven't had the typical, you know, maybe once a week blowout victory where you win by 6 or 7. Nolan takes that pitch down. Last year, when the Rockies won, and they won 87 games, in those games, Huey, they averaged 7.13 runs per game. That was the highest in Major League Baseball.
Well, and that's why the run differential was higher.
Exactly. This year, coming into tonight, in their wins, and they're 29-25 right now, they'd average 4.79 runs. You know, basically what, 2.5 runs less a game, and that's the lowest figure in wins this year. And this ball toward the gap in right center field for Nolan, and he's going to head towards second base with a double. And for Arenado, that is his 11th double of the year.
The second one tonight.
12th double then, excuse me.
It doubled in the 4th, produced an RBI. So Nolan 2 for 5 on the night with 2 RBIs. Big gap in right center field for Nolan, and he takes advantage of it.
Cargo steps in against the lefty. Swinging the bat well, as we've seen the last 3 days. In fact, against lefties, he's 4 for his last 8. And this is going to be 5 for his last 9. It's going to get Nolan home. Rockies lead it 11-4.
And now that is 3 consecutive games where he's had back-to-back, or multi-hit games, I should say.
You start to get those. He's found the barrel a lot the last 3 days. That one was a jam shot, but you'll take it.
That's right. He started the night 0 for 3. Now, last 2, he's 2 for 2. But if you have the right approach, you have the right swing, you're going to get these jam shot bloopers. 19 RBIs on the season for Cargo. And now, for Cargo, he's hitting 256.
It's a time of year you can still move that average north pretty quickly. 1 strike on Story, tripled in a run in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, popped out in the 5th, and hit a fly ball to center in the 7th.
Cargo, when he started the game on Sunday against Cincinnati, he was hitting 214. And yesterday, he was hitting 241. And now he's hitting 256.
Moved it up 42 points in a couple of days. Pretty good stuff. Story smokes this ball toward Tomlinson. That's a great play. Safe at second. And I think that's the right call. Crawford had disengaged the bag after he caught the baseball. You know, the foot had already come off.
Up until 2 years ago when they changed the rule, that would have been a double play because he was in the neighborhood.
Well, they're going to score this. A fielder's choice and another error on Tomlinson on a high flip. so that's his 3rd of the game. He actually made a heck of a play. Well, you know what? He never even touched it.
No, he went right over the top of it.
Great play to get to that ground ball because that was hit hard. Desmond at the plate, 2 for 4, single and a double and an RBI. He has scored a couple of runs. First and third, 2 outs for McMahon.
MLB.TV Premium, it's back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for more details.
McMahon a double in 4 trips.
Remember that double was off of Will Smith, the left-hander. He short hopped the wall in left field.
Rock can't get it. Out at first base. Glove flip from Tomlinson. So we'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies get another run, and they lead it 11-4.
home 11 runs to the Giants 4. We look forward to the Toyota postgame show tonight. Jenny Kavnar with Corey Sullivan. This offense is legit finally at Coors Field. You're talking about the 4th straight game where they've had 10+ hits.
All right, we harped on them when they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. We better celebrate them when they can. 7 for 19 with runners in scoring position. And when you take a look at that, everybody gets a hit. We talked about Oprah the other day. We're going to talk about Oprah again. You get a hit. You get a hit. Everybody did a great job in the offense today. 10 extra base hits. This is the Rockies offense.
Drew, do you know who Oprah is?
Yes.
I'm just making sure. You too, Drew, can get a hit.
Have you seen
what
this
was
swing?
the show? Remember when Oprah gave everybody a car?
That's what we're
Drew,
talking about,
that's
Drew.
what
Did you
we're
know we landed on the
talking
moon?
Yeah. That's why
you walked right into that?
Oh, my goodness.
Everybody gets a car.
Oh, my
And everybody gets a hit tonight, Drew. We'll see you for the Toyota postgame show.
Hey, Huey, do you remember that on Oprah when everybody got the car?
Really? When was that?
A couple of years ago. Brooks Pounders is in the ball game, and he'll be asked to get the last 3 outs. I miss the Oprah show.
Especially when they're giving away cars. Who wouldn't want to be on that show?
We should have gone that day.
Yeah.
Gregor Blanco at the plate. Francisco hitting for Tomlinson. Takes the strike.
So I hate to kind of pile on Kelby Tomlinson with his 3 errors tonight, because I have been in that group of guys, of infielders, but it's just the 5th time since the Giants have moved since moving to San Francisco in 1958 that a second baseman has made 3 errors in a game. Darrell Spencer in 59, Chuck Hiller in 63, and then remember Robbie Thompson?
Good player.
Twice he did it, in 86 and 92.
It happens. Kung Fu Panda, who plays some second base now, will pinch hit. Sandoval had a pinch single to drive in a run yesterday. I was asking him today, you and I were downstairs. I said that, you look good on the mound. And I said, do you think about throwing lefty? Because remember, he's truly ambidextrous.
Yeah.
We've seen him play catch several years ago, left-handed. I mean, he can really throw lefty. That's going to be a base hit. And he said, no, I hurt my shoulder. Because I was asking if he was going to do the Pat Venditti thing. We also asked him if he had any thoughts of pushing Crawford and get a little time at shortstop.
You're one of those guys that tries to play every position.
Yeah, I don't. It would have to be a pretty sizable lead for the Giants to take Crawford at the shortstop spot. Joe Panic is scheduled to be back in about a week for the Giants. There's a strike. Gorky Hernandez 0 for 3 and a walk. Rockies, there's 1, there's 2, ball game over. Rockies have won 4 of their first 5 on this homestand as Brooks Pounders gets the final couple of outs, and the Rockies continue to assault the baseball. They came home and the questions abounded. What has happened to the offense? Well, the offense is alive and well. Kyle Freeland gets the win. He's now 5-5. Jeff Samardzija takes the loss. He lasted just 1 inning and then had to leave with shoulder tightness. And the Rockies have now won 12 out of their last 13 at Coors Field against the San Francisco Giants. Plenty to do in center field. We get you there now. Here's Jenny and Corey. Jenny?
All right, Drew, thanks so much. Winning at home is fun, and the Rockies finally finding that formula.
Yeah, we've been talking about their struggles. They're now within 1 game of 500 at Coors Field. You got to own it here at home.
That they do. Ryan Spilborghs will have a special guest that's coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show.